It's official. They said Shedeur wasn't a leader. They said he was arrogant, entitled, just another coach's kid riding daddy's coattails. Yet when 65,000 fans watched a rookie kicker choke in the most devastating way possible, Shedeur Sanders was the only one who stepped up. And 4.9 million people saw it. This isn't just another feel-good sports story, people. This is about nuclear-level character being revealed when nobody was watching, when cameras weren't supposed to be rolling, when a third-string quarterback had absolutely nothing to gain from showing compassion. What happened in Cleveland on September 7th has completely shattered the narrative around Deion Sanders' son. The silence is deafening from his critics now, because when Andre Szmyt missed that game-winning field goal and cost the Browns their season opener, every single player, coach, and staff member walked away. Every single one except Shedeur. What he did next generated more buzz than most starting quarterbacks create all season. And the explosive reaction from 4.9 million viewers proves that people are starving for authentic leadership in professional sports. Nobody knew what to make of it at first. Then the internet lost its damn mind. Let's rewind a bit, because this story starts way before that devastating missed kick. The Cleveland Browns were supposed to have their breakthrough season. Joe Flacco at quarterback, Myles Garrett terrorizing offensive lines, and a rookie kicker from the USFL who beat out veteran Dustin Hopkins for the job. Andre Szmyt wasn't just any rookie. This kid had ice in his veins during training camp, nailing 45-yarders like they were extra points. The Browns thought they'd found their special team solution. Meanwhile, sitting on that bench as the emergency third-string quarterback was Shedeur Sanders, the most controversial draft pick of 2024. Here's what the so-called experts said about Shedeur coming into the NFL. Character concerns, leadership questions, attitude problems. They whispered he was soft, that playing for daddy at Colorado didn't prepare him for real football. Those concerns, combined with some technical critiques, caused him to fall all the way to the 5th round, 144th overall pick, when some projections had him going in the 1st round. The disrespect was unprecedented. Cleveland got themselves a potential franchise quarterback for basically nothing, but nobody believed it. The narrative was set. Shedeur Sanders was just another privileged kid who couldn't handle adversity. But here's what his haters didn't understand. Growing up as Deion Sanders' son wasn't some golden ticket to Easy Street. Every move scrutinized, every mistake magnified, every success dismissed as nepotism. Playing at Colorado with the entire college football world watching prepared him for pressure that most NFL veterans never experience. Sources close to the Browns organization say they knew they had something special in Shedeur from day one. Bernie Kosar, Browns legend, couldn't stop praising his work ethic. I love how Sanders is handling stuff. He's out here an hour early working out, and then he's one of the last guys here signing autographs. But on September 7th, none of that mattered. 65,599 fans packed Cleveland Browns Stadium for the season opener against Cincinnati. The Browns were driving late, down 17-14 with 2:25 left on the clock. All they needed was a 36-yard field goal. Automatic in today's NFL. Andre Szmyt lined up, the crowd erupted, and then catastrophe struck. But here's where it gets even more devastating. That missed kick wasn't just a rookie mistake. Tony Grossi called it before the game even started. Did we think we were in trouble with a rookie kicker? Unfortunately, we did. They saw this coming. The Browns coaching staff, the analysts, everybody knew Andre Szmyt was the weak link. But instead of addressing it properly, they rolled with the rookie in the biggest moment of his young career. That's not on Szmyt. That's on the organization. Wide right. Just like that, the season opener was gone. The rookie who started the game by nailing a 45-yard field goal for his first NFL score just choked when it mattered most. But that's not even the most shocking part. Here's what nobody expected. While coaches were processing the loss, while Joe Flacco was dealing with his own 2 interceptions, while 65,000 fans were probably thinking the kicker was trash, Shedeur Sanders did something that changed everything. This dude didn't even dress for the game. He was the emergency third-string quarterback, sitting on that bench with absolutely nothing to gain. No stats affected by this game, no playing time to worry about, no reason to get involved in the drama. But Shedeur Sanders walked straight up to Andre Szmyt and dapped him up. No cameras forced this moment. No PR team told him to do it. This was pure, authentic leadership when nobody was making him show it. Sources close to the team say most players avoid eye contact in moments like this. You win together, but sometimes you fail alone. That's just how it is in professional sports. Not Shedeur Sanders. While everyone else was thinking about what they'd say in press conferences, this young man saw a teammate who needed support. He saw someone dealing with the same pressure and criticism he'd been facing his whole life. The whole thing gets caught on camera and posted with the caption, Shedeur Sanders daps up the Browns kicker after he just lost them the freaking game. He wants that starting spot now after a loss. Good person of him to do that, though. 4.9 million views, people. 4.9 million people watched Shedeur Sanders show more leadership in 10 seconds than some starting quarterbacks show all season. Then came the nuclear moment when the internet completely lost its mind. This wasn't just going viral, this was becoming a cultural phenomenon. Skip Bayless went completely off. If Shedeur had started yesterday for the Browns, they would have beaten the Bengals. Now Skip's gonna skip, but he used this moment to highlight what a lot of people are thinking. Cleveland might be catastrophically mishandling their most valuable asset. But the real endorsements came from people who actually know football. ESPN's Adam Schefter stayed diplomatic, but noted that Sanders needs to stay disciplined because all eyes in Cleveland are on you. Even Schefter couldn't deny this was a game-changing look for the young quarterback. Sports Illustrated gave him an A+ grade in leadership for the gesture. Multiple outlets noted how this completely contradicted all those character concerns from the draft process. Word on the street is that NFL executives who passed on Shedeur are now questioning their evaluation process. Here's what insiders are saying behind closed doors. Quarterback Greg Newsome II called Sanders amazing and talked about his media skills, something he learned from Coach Prime himself. Sources familiar with the Browns' locker room say teammates have been buzzing about Shedeur's character since training camp started. But that's not even the most explosive part. The viral moment did more than just rack up views. It started unprecedented conversations. Browns fans are talking about Shedeur's readiness. Analysts are questioning the depth chart. Even casual fans who'd never heard of him before are now completely invested in his story. If you're loving this breakdown of how one moment changed everything, smash that hype button right now. This story gets even crazier, and you need to show this video some love because what I'm about to reveal next will completely blow your mind about what's really happening behind the scenes in Cleveland. People familiar with the situation say this gesture revealed something the draft analysts completely missed: emotional intelligence, the ability to recognize when someone needs support and act without thinking about cameras or consequences. That's the kind of intangible quality that separates good players from great ones. Meanwhile, Joe Flacco threw 2 picks in this same game, and somehow all the blame went to the kicker. The irony is devastating. This isn't just about Shedeur Sanders anymore. This is about how the entire NFL evaluation process might be fundamentally broken when it comes to assessing character and leadership. Here's what's really going down behind the scenes. The pre-draft narrative around Shedeur was completely manufactured. They questioned his character because he had a social media following. They questioned his toughness because his dad's famous. They questioned his leadership because he played at Colorado. But what they missed is catastrophic. Growing up in the spotlight actually prepared him for moments like this. Dealing with criticism his entire life taught him how to handle pressure. Playing for Coach Prime taught him what real leadership looks like. Sources close to multiple NFL organizations say this viral moment has caused a seismic shift in how teams are evaluating Shedeur's potential. The character questions that caused him to fall to the 5th round are now being seen as complete nonsense. The ripple effects are unprecedented. TikTok creators started making compilations. Instagram sports accounts couldn't stop posting about it. Reddit had entire threads breaking down the gesture frame by frame. The internet turned into detectives, analyzing every angle of this moment. But here's the nuclear revelation that nobody's talking about. This moment exposed something devastating about the current state of NFL leadership. When you have a 3rd-string quarterback showing more authentic leadership than starting players, that says something about the culture problem plaguing professional sports. Industry insiders claim this is exactly the kind of moment that changes careers. Not because of what happened on the field, but because of what happened in someone's heart. The authenticity was undeniable. People familiar with championship organizations say this is how franchise quarterbacks are built. Not through stats or highlight reels, but through character moments when nobody's watching. When you choose to lift up a teammate instead of worrying about your own situation, the cultural impact is explosive. In a world full of manufactured moments and PR-driven gestures, people recognize authenticity when they see it. That's why 4.9 million people couldn't look away. That's why the story cut through all the noise. Cleveland Browns fans are starting to ask the devastating question: why isn't this man getting more opportunities? How long before that emergency 3rd quarterback designation starts looking like a catastrophic waste of talent? Here's what's coming next, and trust me, you're not ready for this. Sources close to the Browns organization say coaches are paying attention to moments like this. Teammates are noticing. The front office is taking notes. Kevin Stefanski defended both players after the game, but you could see the frustration. The man's trying to build a winning culture, and his starting quarterback's throwing picks, while his third stringer's showing championship-level character. The question everyone's asking, how long before Browns fans start demanding Shedeur gets a real shot? How long before this emergency quarterback starts looking like their franchise savior? But that's not even the most shocking part. Word on the street is that this viral moment opened doors that were previously closed. NFL executives who wrote off Shedeur are now quietly reassessing everything they thought they knew. This story is just getting started, people. Because when you have a player showing this kind of authentic leadership, this kind of genuine character, explosive things are about to happen. The football world is watching. Cleveland might have their franchise quarterback already on the roster. He's just waiting for his chance to prove it between the lines instead of just on the sidelines. What happens next will blow your mind.